Mankato's full of historic landmarks, museums, and homes and stories. One story of author Maud Hart Lovelace is constant with the help of the Betsy-Tacy Society. Betsy-Tacy enthusiasts run far and wide from Minnesota to Massachusetts. Maud grew up in Mankato in the early 1900s and went on to write about her childhood friendships. Decades later, her books, Story and Childhood Home, are kept alive by the Betsy-Tacy Society, which has welcomed a new executive director, Jennifer Davis-Kay.
6-year-old me checking these books out over and over and over again for my public library, and if you had said to that little girl, you're going to get a paycheck with the words Betsy-Tacy on it, I think I might have exploded with happiness.
Originally from California, Jennifer spends her time as a copywriter in Arlington, Massachusetts, but has been part of the Betsy-Tacy Society since 1994. And thanks to the help of technology, Jennifer says the society has roughly 700 members, less than 1/3 of them based in Minnesota. When it comes to preserving history, Betsy's house isn't the only home saved for viewing and tours, but Tacy's house as well. Items from Maud's childhood are kept at homes amongst other unique items. For more information, visit our website, KEYC.com.